name is George Latson, and I'm a student at the International Sports Science Association. And today I'll be working with a beginner level powerlifter. I'll be putting her through some basic training protocols to build her a strength base in the squat, bench, and deadlift. So let's get started. So in the beginning, I'm just going to get her started with a minute jumping jack straight, just to get her blood flowing and get her body nice and warmed up and get the joints lubricated. All right, so now I got her doing some extended lunges to open up her hips, as well as some torso twists to get her abdominal area stretched, as well as warmed up even more. She's going to start with some military press. The program I have her on is a progressive overload program. It's strictly for beginners, but also can be useful for intermediate and some advanced lifters. All right, so now I got her doing some hip circles backward and forward, just to open up her hips even more, get all her joints lubricated at the hip joint, so she can be ready for the military press, and then she's going to transition into basic barbell squats. All right, so now I got her doing some hand walkouts just to warm up the upper body, triceps and chest warmed up. Make sure you stand all the way up. There you go. I got her doing some step ups right before she does her military press and her squats. Just to prime her body for the weight. Right. Okay, so the next exercise I have her doing is the barbell squat. We're going to focus on the emphasis in explosion out of the bottom, and we're going to work the decline to get that the work on the decline as well. All right, so let's unrack the bar. 2 steps back, feet set, head neutral, stomach tight, feet slightly slanted. All right, head neutral, and let's go. Nice and easy on the way bottom, explosion at the top. So let's get a better explosion. What that's gonna work is her stretch reflex at the bottom, as well as her speed coming out of the bottom. This is gonna build strength and explosion. Let's get those hips open up just a little bit more on the way down. There you go, explode up. Make sure that head is straight and neutral. The entire time, explode. Let's get 3 more. 3, 2, stomach tight the whole way down, all the way up, big explode all the way up. There you go. All right, so now we're going to hop right into the military press. A couple things you want to notice in the military press: feet are shoulder width apart, toes pointing forward. She's going to have everything engaged through her quads all the way up into her upper chest. So we got her abs engaged. We're going to engage her lats together. She's going to try to squeeze these lats as tight as possible, as well as her upper back. She's going to have her chest stuck out firmly, elbows forward. She's going to bring her elbows forward and stick out her chest. All right. So the military press is it's a no momentum workout. We're going to go ahead and start. What this is going to work on is going to engage, it's going to develop her entire upper shoulder girdle, as well as making sure she's focusing on her stomach, keeping it tight straight through the movement. This is going to help her in the bench as well as the squat, keeping everything tight from the chest down. So it's really an upper body workout. Her legs are getting an isometric workout right now, as well as her lats, stabilizing the weight. Her lats are working as her prime stabilizers, as well as her quads and glutes. Right, so another variation to work on her speed and explosiveness coming out of the hole is the push press. Push press is going to have the same principles as the military press. Feet are still shoulder width apart, abs are engaged, lats are engaged, squeezing one another, upper chest, upper back is engaged, and her abdominals are tight. Now, as the push press happens, she's going to do a quarter squat and push through her legs as she simultaneously explodes up. So reset every time, legs straight. Explode up. What this is going to do is going to bring explosion through her legs. It's going to help her in a squat as well as the deadlift. So the next accessory movement we're going to work on today is the glute bridge. It's going to be a good accessory workout for the deadlift as well as the squat. It's going to work on your hip flexors and strengthen your core. So let's get started. Right away you can see the shape her body is in. She got her hamstrings engaged as well as the core. The movement is going to start with the athlete sinking down and by doing a violent hip thrust up. So let's go. As you can see, she's squeezing her glutes and her abs at the top. Focusing on her breathing, exhaling up. Coming down under control, sinking the hips down under control, and squeezing her glutes and her hamstrings as she goes up. So let's get 5 more. So now we're going to start with some dumbbell lunges. This is going to build some muscle mass and strength in her quads as well as ab strength. Let's go ahead and start. This is a good accessory workout to build muscle mass in your quads and your thighs as well as your glutes. As you can notice, her torso is upright, head facing forward. Let's shorten up your steps a little bit so we can focus on the quad a little bit more. It's okay to have your knee at the midfoot point or slightly above the midfoot point. As you can see, her knee ends right at the midfoot or slightly above, focusing on her quad. Head stays neutral, torso is neutral, everything is focusing on the lower body strength right now. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead into the bent over rows. This exercise is good for developing a strong core for the deadlift. It's gonna be an isometric workout for her glutes, hamstrings, quads, and abdominals. And it's gonna build her lats as well as her traps. So let's go ahead and get started and show for a few repetitions. As you can see, when she picks the bar up, her back is nice and flat. Legs are stabilized. Everything is tight. Let's stick out that chest a little bit more. Head is neutral, so let's go ahead and put your head a little lower. There you go. Head is neutral. She's squeezing her lats together on each repetition while engaging her abs. Demonstrate a wall sit. This is a good isometric workout for any powerlifter, as well as anybody who's into fitness. What we're going to do is focus on some isometric work in our core, glutes, hamstrings, and quads. All right, so let's get started. So right now, what you're going to do is set up against the wall here. You're going to be in a nice parallel position, up against the wall, shoulders back against the wall. Come closer. As you can see, my entire back is up against the wall, and I'm in a nice L shape here. So you want to hold this position for approximately a minute to 2 minutes long. In this position, you're engaging your quads, your glutes, and your hamstrings. You just want to focus on your breathing here. So now we're going to do some hanging leg raises. What this exercise is going to do is going to work on your grip strength because you got to hold on to your body weight. It's going to work your abdominals, core, and as well as your obliques. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so now we're going to demonstrate the basic barbell deadlift. I'm going to cue her as she goes through the movement, and this is how we will practice setting up for powerlifting. So let's go ahead and get set up. As you can see, her hands are shuttle width apart. The bar is in the midfoot of her toe here, the midfoot of her foot. Her head is neutral. Her back is back in alignment. Butt down. Her lats are nice. Her lats are tight, nice and engaged. Abs are tight. She's gonna brace through her stomach as she pulls up. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's get 10. Let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, she's hip thrusting at the top, keeping the bar close to her legs. Hip thrusting as soon as the bar gets past her knees. It's a full-on hip thrust. 4. Make sure you pull the slack out the bar before you pull it. You don't want the bar to roll. You don't want to jerk the bar. It's very important. So let's not jerk the bar. So I'm going to demonstrate the full movement all the way through from the beginning. As you can see, what she did correctly was get the bar in the mid-foot, the hook foot. Get my side view. As you can see, my head is nice and aligned with my spine. My back is nice and aligned. I'm going to engage my lats here. And when I pull up, when I get the bar about right here, I'm going to go ahead and start the hip thrust. At that point, my arms are straight the entire time. So from here, start here. Once I get to my knees, I'm going to go into a hip thrust. That's the end of the movement. So I'm going to do 3 full speed. That's the basic barbell deadlift. Straight in a kettlebell swing. It's a good accessory workout for the hip flexors as well as the glutes. It's going to work on the explosion through the hips. It's going to build a speed deadlift. So let's get a couple demonstrations. As you can see, it's all in her hips, squeezing her glutes at the top. Her arms are limber, and she's letting all her hips do all the work for her. So let's give about 5 more seconds. Good job. Now we're going to demonstrate the bench press. I'm just going to cue all the basic cues that you need to have to set up, as well as going through the movement. So right away, we're going to lay down. We're going to engage our lats together as far as we can go. As you can see, my lats are engaged, hips are up, my feet are firmly planted on the floor, going out wide so I can get some movement, push movements through my legs. So my feet are out wide, fully firm. My face is going to be aligned with the bar. I'm going to line my hands up, my ring finger on the ring. That's just my preference for grip. Lats are engaged as I pick it up. And from this position, I'm going to have the bar directly over top of the bottom of my chest, a little bit below the nipple line. Glutes are engaged, lats are engaged. At this point, I'm going to take a big inhale as I go down. And with a big exhale as I go up. And once I go down to the bottom, I'm going to rest the bar right at the top, the highest point on my sternum. And I'm going to big exhale and explode up. I'm going to demonstrate about 5. So that's the basic cues. You're going to have your feet firmly pressed on the ground, engaging your lats and your glutes, as well as making sure you're focused on a deep inhale and an exhale. And that's the basic principles of the bench press for powerlifting. The final accessory workout that we're going to perform today is the face pull, the cable roll face pull. So what she's going to do is she's got her feet stance, 1 foot behind the other, both feet planted on the floor. This movement is going to develop overall thickness in her upper traps. So let's get some reps here. As you can see, she's keeping her elbows up nice and high, pulling the rope straight to her forehead. So the top of the rope is going to land near her forehead, elbows up a little higher. And as she goes, she's going to squeeze these for about a second or 2 before she comes back under control. So she's squeezing her lats and her upper traps for about 2 seconds, and then reversing under control. So let's get about 6 more. All right, so now we're going to start our cool down. We're going to start off with a heel toe stretch. The athlete's going to take a short step down or place her heel towards the ground, and she's going to reach towards the heel and her toe. So right at the midpoint, she's getting a good stretch into her hamstrings. She's going to do about 5 seconds on each leg and switch. So let's switch it. As you can see, she's stretching each hamstring one at a time, getting a nice deep stretch. About 5 seconds on each, and then she's going to rotate them for about 5 rounds. All right, so now let's go into the quadricep stretch. What she's going to do now is just grab her heel or her toe, squeeze it for about 5 to 10 seconds and rotate. She's going to do that back and forth for about 5 to 10 repetitions, 5 to 10 rounds each. All right, so now we're going to transition into a deep lunge, into a side stretch to hit the obliques and hip flexors. So let's go ahead and hit a big lunge out. As you can see, she's upright, stretching over to the side, stretching her obliques, working her hip flexors. Everything is tight. She's going to hold that for about 5 seconds and then step forward and switch towards the other side. So now the athlete's going to go into the pigeon pose. Feet slightly wider than shoulder width. She got her elbows on the inside of her knee, and she's going to press out with her elbows to stretch out her glutes as well as her hip flexors. As you can see, she's going to raise her chest up nice and high in that position right there. She's stretching out her hip flexors and her glutes all in one. Get a nice deep stretch. This is going to help her have a better squat depth over time. All right, so the last cool down exercise, we're just going to do a nice hang. What this hang is going to do is going to stretch out her upper chest as well as her lats, as well as her shoulders and everything in her upper torso here. So she's going to do a dead hang for about 15 seconds. As you can see, she's getting a nice stretch in her lats as well as her upper chest and lower chest. What she's going to do is about hang for about 15 seconds, and she's going to do this for about 4 rounds. And she's going to get a nice loose stretch in her upper body. So what we did today, we put a beginner powerlifter through some basic routines to help build her squat, bench, and deadlift. I put her through a basic progressive overload plan. Any beginner, intermediate, or advanced lifter can use it to benefit. I incorporated some plyometric as well as some isometric workouts to help her explosiveness as well as her muscle maturity over time. We did a nice warm-up in the beginning as well as a full body cool down to help her recovery cycle. And thank you for joining me today. My name is George Latson, and I'm a student at the International Sports Science Association. Thank you.